to the RunRX Podcast, where we talk about all things running. As many runners know, it's 90% mental. So join Coach Valerie and Coach Caroline as we go through the mental side of running.
Welcome back to the RunRX Podcast. I'm your host, Coach Caroline, and I'm here with Coach Valerie. Hey, Coach, how you doing?
Great. How are you?
Good. So we are on the final day for enrollment in our virtual clinic. We've done these a couple of times before, where it's basically we take your years of experience and we boil it down to these 3 days. So first tell me, who should come to this virtual clinic? What kind of runner? Do I need to be an elite runner? Do I need to be doing marathons and ultras? Who should come to this clinic?
Well, I mean, my first answer, of course, is all runners. Anyone that wants to run, that's number one. And I think, especially because it's the new year and a lot of people are wanting to set those running goals, whether it's to run a race, whether you just want to get outside and run, because what we give you is the ability to be able to run, and I love saying this, it's what we teach is to run pain-free. The goal is to have no pain in your run. But the side benefits is always you can run more distance and you can usually pick up your pace. And so we like to say, so we were talking about that. What kind of runner? Honestly, the kind of runner that wants to enjoy running.
Yeah. It doesn't want to dread it or doesn't want to feel like, it's penalty or it's a job, right? They want to. That's what a lot of our runners say, that they always say that they are excited to go running or they feel like they got the joy back. Is that, how would you describe that?
Well, I think also for us, because we do have that struggle of, first of all, it's a struggle, honestly, to go running, right? To fit it into your schedule and get there. And most of us that do run, it is a huge joy in our life. So we usually meet the runner when they are at that place in their run where they're not moving forward where they want to go, whether it's an injury, which is honestly the most we hear from you guys, the shin splints, the plantar fasciitis, the IT band. And when that happens, when you have an injury, then it makes you, you're kind of hesitant to go out for a run. So that's our biggest thing is we're going to help you get that excitement to get back out running again.
So what if I've gotten a couple of questions so far since we opened up the enrollment, and this is the last day, guys. So I'm going to push this kind of hard because you've gotten to tonight, midnight tonight. It's Friday the 13th. Woo! Okay. But the questions that we've gotten quite a few people that say, I'm injured right now. Right. So should they wait? What about that?
You should come in, especially if you're injured right now. And I know that sounds counterintuitive.
Yeah, counterintuitive.
What's the first thing people hear? Hear this, or I hear this, right. And my challenge is always you still have to live your day. You're still going to be moving around. So why not take this time and really work on your movement? And then when you go back to running, you're going to have the right movement pattern. And I think that it's really hard unless you come in, and this is why it's so exciting to do this, that we can modify any of the practice for anyone. So even if you're non-weight bearing right now, even if you're not running, because the biggest part of the practice is you can do this in place. And so then you are going to get stronger. You're going to, as you recover, not only are you going to get your strength, because of course you're going to be working on that, but also your ability to get back out and start running again.
Yeah, that's really important. And I can't, it's hard to articulate that, guys, through an email. So that's another reason why I wanted to talk about this, that if you're injured, this is really the best time to come in. But if I'm not injured, if I'm, maybe I'm doing fine, I don't think there's anything wrong with it, can I still learn something?
Oh, of course, because anybody can increase efficiency, anybody. And the thing is that especially a lot of us runners that we run by ourselves, or maybe we run with our friends, or maybe we see our race pictures, but we don't really see ourselves running. We don't really see our movement of running. So when something does come up, when something does hurt or something, who knows, something's limiting you, or maybe not, which is great. You're not sure what's going on. Whereas any other movement that you do, especially like if you go to the gym, you got a trainer, or you do any other sport, generally you have an idea of how you're moving, whether you watch yourself or you watch someone else do it and you're trying to, follow that movement. So it's amazing how we get people all the time that come in and they're like, you know what, I just want to make sure I prevent an injury. That's also really important. And just being able to see how they could be more efficient, just also, again, usually takes them to another place in their own running.
Yeah. Now we also, so coming into the virtual clinic, it's just $37. And we did have some people, one guy reached out and said, well, I just really want her to watch me run. So there is an upsell. We call it an upgrade, if you want, when you go to check out after the 37, we will give you an opportunity, guys, to get your gait analysis done with Valerie. And it's just $60. We're doing it like a third of the cost that we would ever normally do it at. And so the total price to get the video analysis and to come in for the 3 days of training is only $97. We did that on purpose. So it's all through Facebook. Hopefully you don't hate Facebook. You can come through Facebook. There will be recordings of all of the content, and we archive it after the week, after the trainings. So you'll always be able to go back to it, right, if you want to. But of course, we will hope you'll want to continue working with us. But in that time period, Valerie, in that week that they have with you, if they do, especially if they do get the gait analysis, they can actually ask you questions about what you have taught them, right? They'll get a strength. Yeah. We give them a week's worth of a month's worth of strength training, 4 weeks. And then we also give them 30 days to get back out there and go running. So they can actually get that 30 days and say, hey, Valerie, I've got a question about transitioning, say, from being injured to starting this 30 days. Like, should I be doing this or should I be doing that? They can come to you and ask you, right? During that week, you're like there for them for that whole week.
Right. So inside of the week of the clinic, this is like why you want to sign up for this clinic. And I'm just going to do a little backstory. Something that used to happen to me for years and years. So I've been teaching the same, just so you guys know, this is something I've been teaching and seeing the same success. Like the level of success just improves over time for over 20 years. Wow. And what would happen is people would come, a runner would come, whether it was one-on-one or private or a group or a clinic, it's irrelevant. When they would come, they would feel the benefits. They would be able to see, we would always do the gait analysis so they could see what they were doing before. They could see the positive changes after they worked on it. Then they would leave the clinic and be like, I forgot everything you just told me.
Yeah.
When they went to their next run, because we really can only retain so much. So guys, having a week to go practice, and not just go practice, but be able to come back and ask me, because, I used to teach clinics before there was internets.
Yeah.
And so, I might get like an email maybe, but for a lot of people, what would happen is they would feel they would feel it, because everyone, that's the best part of this. You're going to feel how it can impact your run in a really positive way. You're going to want to go out and try it. Well, then you go out and try it. Like it's like any other new movement or any new thing. You want to be able to come back and ask questions about it, because now it's a new feeling. Is this how it's supposed to feel? I'm feeling this. There's going to be questions, and you can only ask those questions once you get out and try it. So this is really, we have found people, the acceleration of progression in their learning and being able to implement it in their running, getting to their, all of that improves as they keep asking and being part of coaching.
That's fantastic. So just to reiterate, guys, if you go to runrx.fit, that's runrx.fit. That's just our main website. We have a big green button there that says join the virtual clinic. So that's like the fastest way to get to us. And that'll give you all of the information. We're going to open up a Facebook group on later today on Friday, but you can still get in on Saturday. The training will start on Sunday. It'll be Sunday, Monday, and Tuesday. And then you'll have access to practice and try this stuff all the way through next Friday. So we really hope you'll join us. Like I said, $97 to have her do a clinic, basically give you the clinic information and do the gait analysis. That's normally, you'd have to come to us in Dallas, and it's right now $197. And that doesn't include airfare. So come with us virtually and join us. And we really hope to see you in the virtual clinic. Thanks, guys.
Thank you for joining us on the RunRX Podcast. If you'd like to know more, join us at www.runrx.fit. And if you have additional questions that you'd like answered on the podcast, email us at support@runrx.fit.